Right now, this is going to be part 2 of the Swedish 24-hour combat ration. I've chosen to split it up into 3 meals. This one will be the lunch.
Lunch.
Lunch?
Lunch? I don't get it.
Here's a look at the complete ration as I had it split into the 3 parts. This ration was very generously sent to me by the Magnus, and I apologize because it's taken me a long time to get around to finishing up these reviews. The good thing, though, is that the shelf life of most of these components is pretty long. The ration itself was produced on June 10th, 2014, and had a best buy of September 1st, 2016. And while that's the overall expiration date for this meal, I was looking at the components of my lunch, and this one was packaged on January 16th, 2014. And it's best before July of 2017, so this actually has a lot of life left to it. Peanuts are the same way. They're packaged on like January 28th, 2014, and are good until January 28th, 2017. Beef jerky, also January of 2017. And even the chocolate bar, September of 2017. So despite the fact that it's been a long time since I did the breakfast portion, this still should be very good. As I said, this is going to be lunch. The only thing to mention here is that the flameless ration heater wasn't included in the ration. Magnus sent this along so I could heat up the 2 main entrees. But what we're going to be eating for this lunch is going to be the chicken yellow curry rice. And here's the look at the nutrition facts. You can pause here if you want to read these, and the ingredients too. High protein beef jerky bites. It's kind of sort of smallish bit of jerky in there. Some roasted and salted peanuts, vacuum sealed. Freeze dried instant coffee. The chocolate bar, which funny, doesn't really say anything on here. You actually have to lift up here to find chocolate bar. And some isotonic drinking powder. I had originally said this was grapefruit because just grapefruit right here, but it's actually grape flavor. And then this one little hard candy or lolly. Looks like it's going to be probably licorice flavor. It's black. Either that or there's something wrong with it. An Arctic Storm licorice freeze gum, and a moist towelette. The first thing we're going to do is heat up the entree, and I did want to mention one other thing too. This 24-hour meal came with 2 full-size entrees. It also came with the breakfast entree. It was basically an oatmeal. And US MRE rations are 8 ounces, or 227 grams. These 24-hour meals from Sweden, this is actually 400 grams. So you can see you're getting quite a bit more in your entree. So even if you're not able to make it doesn't seem like as much of a meal outside of the entree itself is going to be pretty much a meal in itself. Now I had mentioned in part 1 that these flameless ration heaters that Magnus sent along are quite a bit bigger than the standard US MRE heater. They basically seem to work on the same principle. The only thing that difference is the size, and this one does say once you get it activated to leave it flat, as opposed to putting it on an angle on a rock or something. But there's something familiar here. Looks like our little MRE eater guy in the heating element. And I realized that there's a reason why Magnus sent these along, and I don't know if these are issued with the meals or not, but it would make sense because, as I said, the entree is quite a bit bigger than a US entree, which would fit in a US flameless ration heater. This one would not fit in a US ration heater, thus the wider heater. But other than that, it works the same. You tear the top off. These are the heating elements. It's pretty big and hardy. You slide your entree into the pouch, and add, this is the fill line. It says it takes about 45 milliliters of water. Add up to that fill line. Slide the top of the pouch over. And you're going to lie it flat. First off, to get the water into the heating elements. Get them activated. And then it does say to put it into an envelope or a box, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to put this off to the side once it gets going. Give it about 10-15 minutes to heat up. Now, unlike the standard USMRE drinking mixes, which are single serving, this isotonic drinking powder mix calls for 500 milliliters of water, which means this is going to give you a pretty good amount to drink. Okay, this is a little confusing. So my first thought was that it was grapefruit, and then I thought that that was actually the Swedish version of grape, because it says right here grape flavor. But I can see from the color, and definitely from the smell, it is indeed grapefruit. Which is actually kind of a nice change after all the US drink mixes of lemon lime, grape, tropical punch, orange. So we have a glass of grapefruit drink, and we still have a couple hundred milliliters left for another glass. I thought this heater was a dud. It took about 5 minutes for it to get started, but now, see, the heating elements are really puffed up and they're finally generating some heat. This is the Nut Walker roasted and salted peanuts. Nothing too exotic there. And the high protein beef jerky bites. So you get 3 bites and an oxygen absorber. Not a ton of jerky, but I'm sure it'll taste fine. This is our hard candy and our gum. Put those in here too. And our chocolate bar. I believe this is milk chocolate. Get some nice oxidation on there. But smells like chocolate. That's just going to leave us with our instant coffee. Didn't get any creamer or sugar or whitener or anything with this, so we're just going to have this black. Best before June 2018. Snap Cafe. It's Colombian, supposedly. We'll see how this tastes. It smells like instant coffee. I suppose there's no reason why the coffee can't just go in this compartment, since the only thing we have left now is the entree, which is just about finished heating up. Heating elements still seem to have a good amount of heat in them. Let's see what we have here. It's definitely got some heat to it. Now, I was tempted to put this in some boiling water. It's something I've never had before, something a little bit different, and I thought it'd be nice to really get it heated up. But instead we'll just go with the heating that came from the Finest Fashion heater. And one thing that's nice about these is they, like the breakfast one, they have little thing on the bottom so you can open it up and you can eat it right out of the pouch. So this is chicken yellow curry rice. Got a bit of an Indian thing going on there, and we'll check it out. It actually smells really good. Of course, the real test is going to be in the taste. Certainly came out of there pretty nice. And that's looking and smelling good. This has, in addition to the chicken, has potato, carrot, rice, coconut milk, sunflower seed oil, red kidney bean, yellow curry paste, and a few other things. For allergens, it has soy and mustard. Now comes the taste. As you can see, that's a pretty good pile of food there. Good amount. I'm not sure if I'll eat this all in one sitting or if I'll have to reheat this later, which wouldn't be a bad thing. There it is. I think it probably would be even better if it was heated up even more. It's a little bit gelatinous, which I'm thinking has something to do with the heating. Actually, there's some of the potato right there. But I do have some pretty high hopes for this. And yes, that is very good. You can see it's got oil here separating. I don't know, I have a feeling this might mix up better too if it was heated up better. Stay a little bit more one type of thing. But that's okay. Taste is really good. It's got a little bit of a kick to it, being that it's a curry. You can taste the coconut in there. You can taste the curry powder. But it's not a hot dish. If you really into spicy stuff, you might still want to add some hot sauce to it. I think kind of like with the US ones, even though it's kind of an exotic dish, chicken yellow curry rice, they also don't want to turn off anybody who doesn't like spicy foods. And you can see some of the carrots. You know, the kidney beans, it's a big bean right there. There's a potato. I'm just trying to see what we get for. Doesn't seem to be big chunks of chicken. It's kind of like little pieces, bigger chunks of potato. The rice is good. It doesn't seem to be too soggy or soft. This is very good. I would not have any complaints about eating this. Very good mixture of all these things. Kind of see some of the chicken in there. That is excellent. Now I'm already looking forward to the dinner. Try this coffee. I'm not really very good at judging coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. Usually when I have the MRE coffee, I put the sugar and the creamer in it. So it's black coffee. It's kind of strong. Maybe a little bit on the bitter side. But I think it's what you'd expect from instant coffee. A little something hot to put in you on a cold day. Try some of these peanuts. Those are fine, nothing to write home about. These peanuts with some salt on them. They have quite a bit of a packaged flavor to them. Obviously they are packaged, that's okay, but the fact that they were so tightly vacuum sealed, I don't know, I was expecting them to be slightly more fresh tasting. There's a little bit of a better look at them without the coffee in the way. Try one of these jerky bites. So it's going to be quite chewy. But what you'd expect from jerky. It's got a little bit of an interesting taste to it. I don't know if it's the packaging or if it's something in the flavorings. Let's see, maybe it's the soy sauce. But it's not the best beef jerky I've ever had. At least they don't give you too much to have to choke down. There's nothing wrong with it, just not great. And we'll go for the chocolate bar. See if it looks a little bit better inside. As you probably could hear, it's quite crunchy. It's very hard chocolate. It's not that old. I mean, I've had it for about a year, which is true, but Best by date isn't until September of 2017. Chocolate itself is okay. Still not exactly sure if it's milk or dark chocolate. It's almost like a combination. Wash it down with some of this grapefruit drink. First time I've ever had a grapefruit drink in a ration. And that's pretty good. It's a nice change. Almost tastes like actual grapefruit juice, as opposed to that Kool-Aid-y kind of flavor in the U.S. MRE drinks. And this probably would have been a good choice for the breakfast now that I think of it. Check out this little bullet-shaped hard candy, which I'm expecting to be licorice flavor. Oh boy. Maybe it's not a bullet, maybe it's a bomb. And yes, it definitely does have the anise licorice kind of a flavor, black licorice, which we're going to follow up with some more licorice. I'm going to try out this gum for the last. Oh, that's interesting. I thought this was just different names for it, but I guess there's actually two different gums in here. There's the licorice freeze and the salmiak ice. See, this must be the licorice. Well, that's interesting. It's got the licorice flavor. It's a pretty strong flavor. And it's actually kind of soft. I was expecting it to be like a chiclet and you have to like crunch through it, but the whole thing itself is actually pretty soft. And for a second I actually thought it was licorice and I was expecting to eat it rather than just chew it. I know the black licorice thing is kind of a Swedish thing. Tastes fine. It's not really my favorite thing to eat, but there's nothing wrong with it. And I think just to clean the palate and have a little more of this grapefruit before having the salmiak ice. And that actually seems to be a licorice flavor too. Not quite as strong, but it has a black licorice kind of flavor. Kind of strange. I actually think I prefer the regular black one. I'm not actually. I was thinking this is a great thing to finish up the meal and kind of cleanse your palate, but I'm actually not all that crazy about having those flavors for the gum. Like I said, it's an acquired taste, I'm sure, and this is meant for Swedish troops, and they've kind of grown up on black licorice, so I'm sure it's great for them. So instead, I think I'm going to clean my palate with some more of this delicious entree. And that was a look at lunch from menu number 5 of the Swedish 24-Hour Meals Combat Edition ration. Chicken yellow curry with rice. Thank you for watching.